I've been thinking about this market. What about it? The fabric trade, high demand, low supply. Sounds risky. What about the capital? We can start small. It's a huge opportunity.
Kelechi Nuzzu was not a man anyone paid attention to. In the busy streets of Lagos, Nigeria, life moved fast, but for him, everything moved slow. Every morning, he woke up before the sun, not because he was disciplined, but because he had no choice. The rent was due, food was expensive, and hope was something he had learned to bury deep inside himself. He worked small jobs helping people carry goods, running errands, doing anything just to survive. Nobody saw him as important. To most people, he was just another struggling young man trying to exist in a city that didn't care. But Kelechi had one thing others didn't see, yet he had patience. And sometimes patience is the beginning of destiny. It was on an ordinary afternoon that Kelechi met Emeka Okoro. Emeka was different, but not in a good way at first. He looked like someone who had tried and failed too many times. His clothes were worn, his voice carried frustration, and his eyes showed a man who was tired of being invisible. But there was something else in him, ambition. He spoke about business ideas, about success, about breaking out of poverty. People laughed at him, ignored him, or walked away. But Kelechi didn't. For reasons he couldn't explain, Kelechi listened. And that simple moment, just listening, would change everything. Emeka had no money, no support, no connections. But he had an idea, small, fragile, and risky. Most people would have walked away. Most people would have called it a waste of time. But Kelechi did something different. He believed him. He used the little money he had saved over months of suffering and invested it into Emeka's idea. Not because he was sure, but because he wanted to give someone else a chance. Something life had rarely given him. That decision felt small at the time. But sometimes small decisions become the turning point of a lifetime. At first, nothing happened. Then slowly, something changed. The business started small, just a few customers. Then more. Then even more. What looked like failure at the beginning suddenly became momentum. Money started flowing in. Phones started ringing. Meetings started happening. And for the first time in a long time, both men saw what success looked like. But success has a hidden danger. It doesn't just build people. It changes them. And Emeka was changing. Kelechi noticed it before he understood it. Emeka stopped calling him the same way. Meetings started happening without him. Decisions were made without his opinion. At first, he ignored it. Because when you trust someone deeply, you don't want to believe they are changing. But Adaobi saw it clearly. She warned him, not everyone who rises with you is meant to stay with you. But Kelechi wasn't ready to hear that truth. The day everything broke was not loud. It was silent. Kelechi walked into the office, expecting a normal day, but something was different. Security stood at the entrance. The atmosphere was cold. Then Emeka spoke, not as a friend, but as a boss. He told him he was no longer needed. Everything he had helped build was now being taken away from him. And in that moment, Kelechi realized something painful. He didn't just lose a business. He lost someone he trusted. After that day, everything went downhill. People stopped taking his calls. Rumors started spreading. His name became something people avoided. Meanwhile, Emeka rose higher. Bigger office, bigger money, bigger influence. It felt like the world had chosen sides and Kelechi had already lost. But what Emeka didn't know was that truth never disappears. It only waits. Adaobi refused to let the story end like that. She started digging documents, records, hidden transactions. And what she discovered was not just betrayal, it was manipulation. Emeka had not built everything alone. He had used Kelechi's money, Kelechi's ideas, and even hidden his contribution from others. But worse still, there was someone behind Emeka, a powerful figure controlling everything from the shadows. And now, the truth was ready to come out. When the truth finally came out, everything changed. Emika's empire began to shake. People who once praised him started asking questions. And slowly, the foundation he built on lies began to fall apart. Kelechi didn't celebrate loudly. He didn't need to. Because for him, justice was not revenge, it was peace. And for the first time in a long time, he could breathe again. But this time, he didn't go back to where he started. He went forward.